Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, Mr. Main Event himself, the often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we are going to go over Raw this week. Was in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, whoa. Now, before we go and get into this week's show, just like always, folks, first things first, the Main Event Network. We are working to build up the Main Event Network's YouTube page. Folks, I really do encourage that you go and check them out. The link is in the description tab. We are a group of like-minded individuals all joining together to go and just spread the joy that is pro wrestling. It doesn't just have to be WWE. It doesn't just have to be AEW. It doesn't just have to be the quote-unquote smoking hot indie scene at the moment. No, 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 no. We talk about wrestling, not just one company, just wrestling. WRESTLING. Highly recommend you guys go and check them out. Please, please. We are working to build up that platform. Now, with that said, folks, we're going to talk about on how we pay these funny little gimmicks called bills. So, want to remind everyone that we here at the Vicious Studios are a WWE Shop affiliate. So what that means is, if you click the link in the description tab or scan the QR code that is right there on the screen, it will take you to WWE Shop. You go, click that link, scan the QR code, get to the shop. You make a purchase for whatever item your heart desires. It doesn't matter if it's $10. It doesn't matter if it's $50. Hell, it doesn't matter if it's $5,000. Get whatever item your heart desires. And folks, we here at the Vicious Studios receive a small nominal commission based on the purchase. And here's the kicker. I'm going off script telling you guys this. If you got discount codes, no lie, if you have a discount code for 5, 10, 20% off, even 50% off, free overnight shipping, free shipping in general, whatever, you could still use them with our affiliate link. No fooling, no lies. I am going out my way helping y'all out on that. Also, folks, speaking of affiliates, we are also affiliated with the Pitbull Skull Shaver. It is the hands down #1 tool in my grooming toolkit. And folks, I am bald and I am beautiful for it, and I make sure I stay bald and beautiful thanks to the Pitbull Skull Shaver because of its sleek ergonomic design. It fits right into my hand. It's got a built-in lithium-ion battery. It recharges lickety-split just like that. And 60 to 90 seconds, that's all it takes for me to get a nice, quick, clean shave on my dome, and I look beautiful. Now, I want you to think about that. 60 to 90 seconds. Can you really say you can shave your head within 60 to 90 seconds using one of them like plastic gimmicky razors you get from like the drugstores and it look that good? No. No, 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 no. In fact, if you use those, I guarantee you're going to look like you just came out of a death match and bleeding buckets of blood. Not with the Pitbull Skull Shaver. And the replacement, the heads are easy to pop off, clean in a snap, and here's the kicker. Replacement blades, the replacement blades only need replacing roughly about every 6 months or so. Roughly every 6 months. So think about it. If you go out of your way and buy 4 replacement heads, you are stocked up for 2 years. That is a freaking steal. No fooling. And the Pitbull Skull Shaver, it doesn't just work for the head. If you got unsightly shoulder hair, that nasty grandpa shoulder hair, you can wipe it off. You want to get rid of that uncomfortable, that awkward looking underarm hair, get rid of it. You want to get rid of that chest hair, you can. You want to go and do your forearms, you can. And folks, even though we're in the middle of February, spring is creeping right around the corner, and if you want to take care of down below, you can. Pitbull Skull Shaver, make sure you guys check them out. The link is in the description tab. Also, the OG way of supporting the show outside of telephone, telegraph, tell your best friend to go and check out this show, is with some Vicious Rants apparel, which you can get at whatamaneuver.net. Folks, these are the most comfortable shirts I have ever worn. I absolutely love them. Hands down, the most comfortable shirts ever. We got t-shirts, we got tanks, we got women's tees, we got baby onesies, we got toddler tees. Folks, perfect shirts. Perfect shirts for, like I said, spring creeping right around the corner. And it's a perfect gift for somebody you love, somebody you hate. Or if you want to go and get a shirt so that way you can go and give it to some charity. Well, all the while you hold on to a piece of, all the while you hold on to a shirt that means oh so much to you. Folks, I cannot stress enough just how well these shirts are for that. Whatamaneuver.net. Search for Vicious Rants. We are on there. Go check that out. So, now before we go and talk about this week on Raw, we're going to switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind. And the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. It started out with Drew McIntyre coming out, gloating, prideful of himself. He's still champ, this, that, and the other, da-da-da-da-da. And then, wham! Out comes Cody Rhodes, beats the living tar out of him. Them two start swinging at it, something fierce. And then next thing you know, Cody gets on the mic talking about on how Drew McIntyre costed him his WrestleMania moment. Or not his WrestleMania moment, his chance to be at a WrestleMania again. Well, you know what, Drew? I'm going to make it my life's mission to make sure you don't make it to WrestleMania. And you know what? The other guys on the other show, they want to go and talk about having a you-know-what measuring contest. Well, they need to be thankful I'm not there, because there's a reason why I'm nicknamed Raheem, which... Whoa! 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 Cody! Dude! Seriously, bro. Time out. TMI, dude. TMI. Did not need to know that much on you. Yeah. So the other highlights from SmackDown were Rhea and Io defended their women's tag titles against Julia and Kiana James. Rhea and Io got the win. We also had Mello doing a US Open Challenge, this time against The Miz. Mello got the win on that. We also had a women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. It was Lash legend Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton in the match. Tiff got the win. However, unfortunately, Chelsea wound up wrecking her foot pretty bad. So, yeah, she wasn't able to go and be at the AAA show over this past weekend to defend her mixed tag title along with Ego. So, unfortunately. Although the biggest takeaway from this is on how Kathy Kelly wound up making the best snappy, sarcastic joke to Chelsea over it, because she put up a picture and her ankle was all this nasty kind of black and blue kind of bruising where, and it looked like a kind of color you wouldn't want chicken to be if you were going to eat it. If you looked at it, and just Kathy, without missing a beat, just, yeah, your wiki feet points went down, girl. Like, ouch. Really? That's the first thing you go to. Wow. Okay, see where that friendship's at. They're on a good level. Only only the good friends make cracks like that at each other. So, anyways, Obafemi beat the living piss out of Kit Wilson. Shinsuke Nakamura had a match against Tama Tonga. Tama wound up getting the win on that. I can't argue on that. Liv and Raquel had an impromptu women's tag match against Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace. And this came to be because Liv came out gloating on how she won the Women's Royal Rumble and on how she can challenge for whoever. Jade came out, went to go do the intimidation game, and Liv just sitting there like, that snide, snarky, look where you're like, kid, do you really know what you're signing up for? You have no, just, the hell is wrong with you? Lose that stupid grin off your face. But then Jordan came out like, whoa, 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 Liv, before you go to challenge her for that title, I'm going to finally get a crack at her and at that title first. And then Nick Aldis, whoa, ladies. And then there was some squawking back and forth. And then Nick Aldis jumped in, ladies. We seem to have a bit of an issue, so might I suggest a women's tag match to help relieve some of this tension. So let's get a referee down here now, shall we? So we got the match, and Jade and Jordan wound up getting a win. They did also say that Jordan and Jade are going to have a match for the title coming up on SmackDown, so there's that. And then we had the men's Elimination Chamber qualifier match, which was Randy, by God, Orton going up against Aleister Black, the Devil's Own, and Solo Sikoa. And, well, I can tell you right now, it's no surprise Randy won. But at the same time, I don't want people getting mad. Oh, Randy won. It's so predictable. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, guys. People way smarter than me. People way smarter than me that have been in this business, that have been in the wrestling business longer than I've drawn breath, have even said multiple times, excuse me, if you were going to build a wrestler, sports entertainer, however you want to refer, from the floor up, they'd look like Randy freaking Orton. So, yeah, I don't blame them. Randy is a natural, God-given wrestler. He's got that. He's got it. He's always had it. Has he always had a good head on his shoulder? No. Has he acknowledged that and worked around and worked past that? Yes. Hence why he gets the respect he's earned. So, with that said, now that we're done going over SmackDown, let's get into this week's show. Raw in Cleveland. It starts out with the man, Becky Lynch, coming on out, moving around, twitching, jittering, something fierce, like she's on the verge of a nervous breakdown, talking about on how, I was going to come out here and talk about on how I got screwed over at the Women's Royal Rumble, but instead, I need to go and talk about this, and talking about on how when CM Punk came in, they showed him walking in with AJ Lee, and talking about on how AJ Lee cost her her first her Intercontinental title the first time. Then AJ came out. It's like, whoa, hey. I'm not here to cause any problems. I'm just here to check out my girl, Maxxine. She's got a match tonight. Just saying. But after that, I thought, maybe I'll hang around catering. I don't know. And then Becky and AJ, they went back and forth for a minute until eventually a challenge got thrown out for the Women's Intercontinental title at Elimination Chamber. So, yeah. I don't know about you guys. I'm okay with that, but personally, I'd like this. The wheels in my head turning. What I'd like to see. I'd like to see this either be a no contest or Becky doing some kind of a screw job to get a win, and then having a match at Mania to determine the help end the feud. That's just me though. But let's get into the first match of the night. It was Usos going up against Alpha Academy, Akira Tozawa, and Otis. And really, honestly, this match had a nice, decent start. Otis and Tozawa, they were leading into the break as well as the post. And Man, I gotta tell you, Tozawa, he was on point tonight, man. He was hitting it hard. So was Otis. It actually looked, for a moment there, I'm watching, I'm thinking to myself, huh, are they gonna pull the trigger on these guys? They're gonna give them the belts. I would not have a problem with them getting the belts. And then, much to my chagrin now, no, that is not the case. That is not what happened. Because Jay wound up getting a blind tag in. They did double super kick, a double spear, and then surprisingly were able to hoist up Otis to go and hit the 3D for the 1, 2, 3. Post match, Jimmy Uso wound up saying to Jay, Us, you need to go and qualify for the Elimination Chamber. You need to go and get back into being main event. Main event Jey Uso, and you need to go and get into WrestleMania. So, alright. Do I think Jay is gonna make it to to win the Elimination Chamber? I'm gonna speak right eventually. No. Do I think if he makes it to Elimination Chamber, he's gonna put on a hell of a show? Yes. That said, now let's get into the next match. It was a women's qualifier for the Elimination Chamber. Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, and Rhea Ripley. And, you know, two big takeaways upon seeing the entrances, before the bell even rang. One, Ivy Nile looks really different without her hair braided. Just like, wow. Like, wow, I did not know it was that long. And secondly, Rhea's outfit is very Art the Clown inspired, and, well, you know, I'm not quite sure how else I should describe it, because if I go into further detail, YouTube's either going to take this video down, or I'm going to get sent back to HR's office at the main event with the Main Event Network. And, well, I just got out of trouble with them thanks to some issues with the interns and apparently some illegal bloodletting. So, let's just move forward. Really good match, nice fast-paced move at the start. Lyra, she was leading in the break, and my God, again, Ivy was the standout in this match for me. I don't know why, but it just seemed like she was just on point. She just seemed like on point to where she was hitting on all cylinders. Does that mean that she was like, oh my God, this woman needs to be like a women's WrestleMania main eventer? No. No. Because you could see she still needs some, try to find the right word to say without it sounding insultive. It can look a little every now and then. Okay, maybe you need to get reminded to slow down a little. But when she goes, she can go, and it's just like, whoa, wow. So yeah. Either way, match came to an end when Rhea wound up hitting the Riptide, the Lyra, for the 1, 2, 3, and so Rhea's gonna go into the Elimination Chamber match along with Tiffany Stratton. So the other matchups we have were Nattie going up against Maxxine Dupri, and thank the gods, Natalya is finally no longer doing the whole I'm part of the Hart legacy, I'm carbon copy, Bret Hart family member name and music and moves and blah 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 type stuff. They're finally stitching that on her, which fucking needed. Cause listen, I get it. Bret Hart, phenomenal wrestler, great wrestler. You know, he said it all the time. Well, you know, I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Okay. But that doesn't mean everyone that's related to you needs to come out to some variation of your music and use the same moves you do. And you would think at some point Brett would have said something about that, but I don't know. Just either way, as far as this match went, if you could even call it a match, the bell rang, but the girls went at it, scrapping at each other for something wicked for a minute or two, until eventually Nattie wound up getting the upper hand. They were outside, and the match ended with Natalya having a sharpshooter on the announce table locked in. Ref calls for a double countout. Nattie finally lets go when AJ Lee runs down to the ring, and then she just lets go and then goes off. AJ goes to help Maxxine get to the back, as she does. Bam! Becky Lynch goes and sneak attacks her. So, good setup for the match at Chamber. Next up, we have Los Americanos, Rhea and Bravo, going up against Javon Evans and a mystery partner of his choosing. Who, or should I say whom, proper English, would it have been? Why, none other than the original El Grande Americano. That's right, original El Grande Americano, which, you know, I'm going to say this right now. I am getting sick and tired of people out there on the interwebs putting out these things saying that that Chad Gable is back right at the same time or the original El Grande Americano's back. No, listen. Chad is still out with his shoulder injury. At no point have I seen Chad Gable in any way, shape, or form. You know, it's just like coincidentally, we haven't seen Ludwig Kaiser. He's out with an injury, apparently. You know, so why do people seem so surprised? Why are people talking about them anytime El Grande Americano is brought up? I ask you. Either way, back to the match. Los Americanos going up against Javon and El Grande, and the baby faces, they were leading right up at the start, going right from the bell, going right into the commercial break. Javon being the team punching bag post break, and then El Grande wind up getting the hot tag in, comes in, throwing suplex after suplex after suplex, something wicked, going cleaning up house. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Going good. Match was good. I was thoroughly entertained with it. And match came to an end when Evans, he hit the timing on this OG cutter he did was something freaking wicked, because I believe it was Ryo was on one end of the ring. He jumped, and Evans was on the opposite end and jumped, and then he caught him right in midair to boom, pop him with the OG cutter, and then El Grande came in, hit him with the diving headbutt for the 1-2-3. After the match, AAA El Grande, the one everyone absolutely loves, came in, attacked Original, went to go and try and yank his mask off. He wouldn't let him, and then he did the dastardly thing of trying to take off his mask. That bastard. Thankfully, Ryo and Bravo were able to stop him. Were able to save him. So, with that said, now we come to main event match of the night. Men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Penta Zero Mero going up against Austin Theory, going up against L.A. Knight. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, let me talk to you. Because, you see, you got these three men right here going and competing to see who's going to qualify for the Men's Elimination Chamber. Now, you'd think Braun Breaker's going to be in there. Nah! Because, you see, it got broke. The news broke earlier today. Braun Breaker is out with an injury. He's out indefinitely. How long is he coming back? We don't know. That's why I said indefinitely. Yeah. So, all we got to do now is just wait. It's a matter of if, not when. That said, this match, really good action. I liked it. Nice, solid action, what you would expect for a triple threat. And I give Paul Heyman all the credit in the world, man. Like I said before, that man is a freaking wrestling savant. Because he confronted Pierce earlier in the night, and Pierce said, I don't want anything from you tonight, Paul. All right. And Paul just sat back, leaning up against the commentating table like this the whole time. I'm not getting involved. Hey, I'm just right here. No, I'm not doing it. Don't look at me. Not doing them. Yeah. So, it was good action all around. I enjoyed it. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It came to an end when the mysterious hooded man came out of nowhere, curb stomped Theory, tossed him in. All the while, LA Knight was able to wham! Blast him with a BFT, blunt force trauma. Penta got knocked out earlier, right before all of that, so he couldn't go and do anything to run interference to break the pin up. So, your winner, the megastar, whose name everybody's saying, L.A. Knight. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, that is not an insult. That is just a fact of life. Yeah. So, with that said, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, please do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. If you're listening to this on audio, share the platform. We are trying to build up the audio platform. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. If you feel we've earned it, like I said, we're trying to build that up. Thank you to contributor to the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Thank you. Also, folks, do not forget to follow these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter, DSB_IV, Main Event _net, the Main Event Wrestling Network account, Sergeant Curry Pants, 3 Count Thursday, D Dryer 1986. I am Tim Vicious out there on all those lovely little socials, and like I always tell you, you love me, great, and if you hate me, well, fuck yous.